know it's taken you 17 months. It's been a long odyssey for you. As you cast your vote today, have you decided who you're going to vote on? Who are you going to vote for?
I've really worked on this hard, but I haven't made that final decision yet.
Yeah, and?
I've decided to vote for Trump.
Right. What is going through your mind right now? Out of everything you've accomplished, you've been through in your life, you've been front and center, really for 40 years. Tell me about this day for Donald Trump.
Well, it's very exciting. It's, I've spoken to you folks for a lot during our very successful primaries, oftentimes every single one. I was speaking to you in the morning, and so I'm a little bit superstitious. So when you said, please call, I said, I'll call. But I won many primaries speaking to you first thing in the morning, so I'm going to keep that string going. But it's been an amazing process. It's been about 17 or 18 months since I first really came up with it. And actually June 16th it's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a beautiful process. The people of this country are incredible. I've been all over the country, met the people at every level. I've met the people at every level, and they are amazing. So that's really the thing. I think if people say, what have you learned? That's what I've learned. The people of this country are amazing.
Ivanka said last night to Sean Hannity, it's changed you. Do you agree? And if so, how would you build on that? In what way?
Well, I think it has changed me because I see, so many hopes and so many dreams out there that didn't happen, that could have happened with leadership, with proper leadership. And people are hurt so badly. You look at the veterans, they've been hurt so badly. They're great people. There are great people, and they've been hurt so badly, and they're being taken care of so badly.
Mm-hmm.
People that want to see a doctor, and they wait in line for 9 days. And, it's very sad. And at the same time, our country has such tremendous potential. It's like you wouldn't believe it. So it's really something special. I went last night. I ended up with my final speech. We started you guys covered it, but started at 12:45 in the evening.
Wow.
And we had probably 21,000 people. Can you imagine that?
And you're up this early.
21,000 people. And I'm up this early. Well, I had no choice because I'm doing you folks, right? So.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate you always interviewing with us. We've always asked Hillary Clinton to do the same thing. Every time we ask you, we ask her, and we appreciate you being with us in the morning.
She's apparently busy.
So many of your voters are watching and watch Fox. Back in June of 2015, about a year and a half ago, that's when you made the announcement right over here about a block away. You walked down this escalator in Trump Tower with your wife. When you see that video, so much has changed. You've experienced a lot of ups and downs. What do you think about?
Well, it just seems like a very long time ago. It was a very incredible day. I talked about trade. I talked about illegal immigration. I took a little heat for bringing up the illegal immigration, but in the end, it was the right thing to do because it became a main focus of certainly the primaries and I think to a large extent what we just went through with Hillary Clinton. And we have to do it. We have to have borders. We have to let people in, but we have to let them in through a legal process. We have to let them in legally, and that's what's going to happen. And I think we made trade a very important issue also because our country is being absolutely drained of its wealth by bad trade deals, and we're not going to have bad trade deals anymore. We're going to lose $800 billion this year on trade.
Mm-hmm.
So, you almost say, well, they talk about how important trade is. Well, trade's important, but when you lose $800 billion, you're just sapping your wealth. So, those two subjects were right at front and center when I did that on June 16th, and now, lo and behold, they're still right up there.
They are indeed.
Subjects.
Along
with Obamacare.
I was going to mention the Affordable Care Act, which you've been hammering.
We have to terminate it. We have to repeal it and replace it. It's horrible. It's driving people out of business. And, people can't afford it. First of all, people can't afford it. Second of all, it's no good. It doesn't work.
I've heard you say that on the stump. All right, Mr. Trump, a little less than 12 hours from right now, the first polls are going to be closing. What states in particular are you going to watch for and how they determine the balance of your night?
Well, I think we've been doing very well in a lot of states that, I was hoping to do well in. I mean, we're doing very well in North Carolina. I think we're doing very, very well in Florida.
Those are the two most important early states, aren't they?
Excuse me?
Those are the two most important early states, Florida and North Carolina.
Well, I think they're very important. I think we're doing well there. We're doing very well in New Hampshire. Ohio is incredible. It's just a great place. These are I mean, the people are just amazing in this country. Ohio, we're doing incredibly. We're going to win Iowa. Iowa, likewise, just we've had such great experience there, and I think we're going to win Iowa and Ohio and New Hampshire. We're going to win a lot of states. I mean, who knows what happens ultimately, but we're going to win. I think one that's going to be interesting is Michigan, because it's not a state that's gone Republican for many decades. And I spent a lot of time there, and the people are incredible. Their car business has been ripped out. Car production has been ripped out of that state and gone to Mexico and other places. I think we're going to do well in I think we're really going to do well in Michigan. And I will tell you, we're getting very good reports out of Wisconsin. Wisconsin's incredible, and we're getting great reports. I noticed that you have some folks interviewing people, and they just seem to say Trump, Trump, Trump. I say, wait a minute, I want to watch that again. I love it.
We had Heather in Wauwatosa.
That's right. Heather was there, and Abby was there, and everybody's saying Trump, and I say, good. In fact, I think I'm going to watch it a second time.
You know what? I think you're going to do really well in New England after, and this is from Brian's World of Sports, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady yesterday endorsed you.
Well, they were so great. They're friends of mine, and they're great people and great champions. But, you know, above being champions, they're incredible people. And I got a call from Tom yesterday, just as a friend of mine, and he said, hey, I'm voting for you, man, and I'm with you. And I said, you mind if I announce that? He said, nope, you can announce it. I said, great. So I did it last night, of course, in New Hampshire, where, you know, they're so respected. They're respected all over the country. And then I got a letter from Bill. It was such a beautiful letter. I said, do you mind if I read this letter tomorrow night in, you know, New Hampshire, meeting last night? And he said, not at all, you go ahead and read it. And the place went crazy. I mean, they love these two people because just, you know, there's something about winning that's awfully nice, and our country doesn't win anymore, and we're going to start winning again.
You know, I asked this to Governor Huckabee. What is it like on your plane as you're about to do events? You monitor other channels and see what your opponent's doing, and it's hard not to see, while you're getting huge crowds on your own, there's Bon Jovi, there's a president, there's a first lady, there's the former president Bill Clinton, there's Lady Gaga, all coming out to fill up the square in Philadelphia. Does that get intimidating to you?
No, because she can't fill up, you know, the rooms. I mean, she was getting very poor crowds, and then all of a sudden she got these people. And, you know, in the case of Jay-Z, the language he used was terrible. And, you know, she talks about me. The language was unbelievable that Jay-Z and Beyonce used. And, you know, frankly, a lot of people left, and they left because of the language, and then they left when the performance was done, and there weren't too many people in the room. She would have been better off not having them. But she, you know, she uses that. I could do that too, but I'm filling up rooms just on the basis of what I'm saying. I mean, I don't need anybody to fill up the room. We fill up. Last night we had 28,000 people at 1:30 or 1 o'clock, practically 1 o'clock in the morning, 28,000 people.
It's amazing.
In Michigan. And we had, by the way, we had 22,000 people in New Hampshire in the big arena. It was incredible last night. And, you know, I will say I have the best surrogates. I have my kids. I have my family.
Right.
You know, Don, Ivanka, Eric, Tiffany, all of them. They go around. They make speeches. I mean, they are better than the people that you just said.
If you run again, Barron's going to have to be on the clock. He can't stay by.
He's coming along beautifully.
Even Hillary Clinton said that your family was your best attribute. Anyway, closing argument, because this is your last day. So if you had your day in court, you know, the jury, before they go back to make a decision, both of the attorneys can make their closing argument. What is yours today?
Well, I have a lot of things to say. We have to build up our military as depleted. We have to take care of our vets. We have to make strong borders. We have to make great trade deals. And we have to terminate Obamacare. Have to terminate it. We're going to come up with great health care at a fraction of the cost, much better and much less expensive. Save our Second Amendment and remember the Supreme Court.
You said many times, if I don't win, this is a total waste of time. Here we are, Election Day. We don't know who's going to win. Is that still how you feel?
Well, you know, I've been given a lot of credit for having done this because I went through 17 great professionals and, you know, very top people, and I've been given a lot of credit, and they said, whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter. This will talk, because there's never been a movement like this. Even your friend Bill O'Reilly said it's the greatest political phenomena in his lifetime. There's never been a movement. So they said, no, even if you don't win. I said, let me tell you, if I don't win, I will consider it a tremendous waste of time, energy, and money. I'm going to be,
Sure.
I will have spent over $100 million on my own campaign, meaning I don't have to take, tremendous, I don't have to take the money from all the fat cats that are going to tell you what to do. I think it's a big asset. It doesn't get talked about much, but
Yeah.
So you feel that way?
I think it's a tremendous asset, but no, I will consider it. I will not consider it great if I don't win.
A couple of weeks ago, it was revealed that part of Hillary Clinton's game plan was to try, to talk up the polls and make it seem like, show's over, no way you can win. Then, of course, the polls for the most part right now are too close to call. Ultimately, though, do you think the polls that we've seen over the last week or two going back are wrong because the pollsters are not factoring in how many Democrats are going to be voting for you? All this early voting stuff, they say, well, this many Democrats requested ballots, this many Republicans. And also just the gigantic number of Republicans who have turned out to see you, the enthusiasm level. Do you think those things the pollsters are getting wrong?
I do think a lot of the polls are purposely wrong. I think I can almost tell you by the people that do it. The media is very dishonest. Extremely dishonest, and I think a lot of the polls are phony. I don't even think they interview people.
Right.
I think they just put out phony numbers. I do think this, after the debates, I think my numbers really started to go up well. And then I did a series for the last 2 weeks only of really important speeches, I think. And 20,000, 25,000 people, 31,000 people were showing up to these speeches. You saw yesterday, you saw the kind of crowds we're getting, and I said, something's happening here. Something incredible is happening here. And I'll tell you, the enthusiasm and the love in those rooms, in those arenas, they're really arenas. In New Hampshire last night, it was a tremendous arena, beautiful arena. And same thing. We had a big convention center last night in Michigan, but they're packed. You have thousands of people. We had last night in Michigan, we had 10,000 people outside that couldn't get in. 10,000 people.
Wow.
So it's been amazing. So I said something's happening.
Right.
Something's really going on.
A lot of people love you because you're not the establishment and you're not the mainstream media. Let's talk about what's happening over at CNN. First, Donna Brazile, who was a contributor there, was giving debate questions to Hillary Clinton.
Against Bernie Sanders.
Exactly. Then the DNC was giving questions to Wolf Blitzer. CNN was asking them, what questions do you want Wolf Blitzer to ask Donald Trump during an interview? Now we found out this morning because of WikiLeaks, the husband of one of the vice presidents over at CNN, his name is Thomas Knides, the husband, was writing Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, Podesta, asking him or saying to him, we have a good CNN poll that's coming, John. John Podesta writes back, I look forward to how that is spun. What's your response?
Well, I think it's terrible. It's like I talk about the polls. I understand the business, and it's terrible what's going on. And I think more terrible than that is the fact that Hillary Clinton, through Donna Brazile, got the questions to, think of it, got the questions to the debates. 3 of them now, and probably more, maybe mine too, although I don't know. I didn't think she performed particularly well, but I will tell you this, she got a lot of questions to the debates.
Right.
And, if you were in West Point, and if you got the questions like that, they would throw you out of the school if you didn't report yourself. She didn't report it. She didn't give it to an ethics committee or anybody. She took the questions. She got the answers to the questions.
It's rigged.
She would have been thrown out of West Point or Annapolis or the Air Force Academy. And here we have her running for president.
And Mr. Trump, finally, I know they're polling you, and you got to run. You gave us time. We're looking live now. I believe Eric Trump
Eric and Laura.
And Laura are probably about to vote for you right here in New York where they live. So it's got to be exciting.
We think they're going to vote for Donald
You're
Trump.
right, guys. Thanks for correcting me. I don't want to be corrected. I have to apologize tomorrow.
You don't want to assume anything, Brian.
But Donald, as you look at your son about to vote and your daughter-in-law about to vote, I'm just wondering if you had a chance to look back at anything that you've done or not done and said, I regret this. Any regrets right now?
Well, Brian, there's always regrets if you could go back and change things, but you can't. So you just have to learn from, sure, there are things that I would have done differently, but, you have to just go forward.
Sure.
You do want to learn, but there's nothing you can do. I'm very proud of my children. I'm just looking at them right now as an example of your show, but I'm very proud because Don and Eric and Ivanka and, to a lesser extent because she just got out of school, out of college, but Tiffany, who's also been so terrific. They worked so hard.
Yep.
They were
Everybody
all over
did.
the place. As
Absolutely.
you know, they've done your show many times. But
They have indeed.
They worked
Mr.
so
Trump, we only have a few final seconds with you. We may not hear from you the balance of the day. What would you like to say to the people of America right now? Final message.
That we have a great, great country. We have tremendous potential. Definitely go out and vote.
Absolutely.